Tonight, let's forget kings and knights and glittering castles. Forget courtly love and jousts and tournaments. No, tonight is about you. You, the ordinary, dirt-covered, sleep-deprived, always hungry medieval peasant. Before we head into drowsy halls and dungeons that children's books conveniently skip over, let's do the ritual. Hit subscribe and like, but only if you actually like this kind of thing. Don't give me a pity like. That's how peasants got talked into wars, guilt trips, and promises of bread. And while you're at it, drop a comment with where you're watching from and what time it is, because there's something hilarious about someone in Chicago hearing about castle toilets at 2 a.m., while someone in London is already half asleep and someone in Sydney is listening with their morning coffee. Time zones are weird, almost as weird as castles themselves. Now, don't cheer. This isn't the start of some rags to riches Disney story. This is history, which means rags to, well, more rags, with maybe some turnips thrown in. So tuck yourself in, get comfortable, and imagine stepping into the life of someone who worked from sunrise to sunset, slept in a smoky cottage, and smelled faintly of mud, manure, and despair. Welcome to peasant life. The rooster crows at dawn, but you're already awake because you never really slept. The straw mattress is crawling with fleas, and your neighbor's baby cried half the night. Your bedroom is one big smoky room shared with your spouse, your 5 kids, maybe an aging grandparent, and possibly the family cow. Yes, the cow sleeps indoors because warmth matters more than privacy. You rub your eyes, stumble outside, and begin the day. There's no weekend. There's no vacation. There's work and then more work, and then collapsing so you can wake up and do it again. If you're lucky, you have a small strip of land to farm. If not, you're working someone else's land, which means you hand over most of what you grow, keeping just enough to not starve. And what do you grow? Wheat, if the soil is kind, barley, if it's not, turnips, if you're cursed. If the weather ruins the harvest, too bad, you're hungry. Your daily diet? Pottage. That's a gloopy stew of grains, beans, maybe a cabbage leaf, and if God loves you this week, a scrap of bacon. It tastes like sadness, but it keeps you alive. When you're not farming, you're repairing fences, tending animals, hauling water, chopping wood, or paying taxes. Yes, taxes. Lords, priests, and kings all want their share, which leaves you with almost nothing. Your wife? She's not resting at home. She's baking bread, brewing ale, spinning wool, patching clothes, nursing babies, feeding chickens, and scrubbing everything with cold water that cracks her hands. She probably works harder than you do, and that's saying something. And the children? Forget playtime. By age 6, they're carrying water, herding geese, pulling weeds, or scaring birds off crops. Childhood is a luxury peasants don't get. Your cottage is a masterpiece of discomfort. It's one room, walls of mud and straw, roof that leaks when it rains, smoke from the fire curling into your eyes because there's no chimney. The floor is dirt, literally dirt, and you share it with chickens, pigs, and that cow. Congratulations, you're living in what Airbnb would politely describe as rustic. Sunday might be a rest day, but it still means dragging yourself to church because if you don't, people whisper that you're probably possessed by demons. The priest tells you life is short, full of suffering, and if you're obedient, maybe heaven will be better. You nod, because what else are you going to do? Argue? Not unless you want trouble. And let's not sugarcoat it. Danger is everywhere. A cut on your hand could kill you. A fever? Good luck. Childbirth? Terrifying. Even drinking water is risky, which is why everyone guzzles weak ale instead. Yes, including children. A medieval 6-year-old could probably outdrink you. If you're not felled by illness, maybe war rolls through. Armies trample your fields, steal your food, burn your home, and you have no power to stop them. Or famine hits, or plague, or your lord raises taxes again. Life expectancy? 30 to 40 years if you're lucky. That's it. But, and here's the strange part, peasants laughed. They joked. They played music. They celebrated holy days with dancing and games. They told stories around the fire. They loved their children, and they took pride in what little they had. Because humans are stubborn like that, even in the mud, they found joy. So, tonight, as you drift into sleep, imagine yourself not in a castle, not on a throne, but in a smoky cottage, curled up on straw beside your family and your cow. Imagine the ache of your muscles after a long day, the crackle of a small fire, the smell of stew simmering, thin but warm. Because for most of history, this, not kings and knights, was life. Hard, messy, exhausting, and very, very human. Good night, peasant. Sleep tight. Tomorrow, the fields are waiting.